Today I'm at Duval Toyota in Boucherville, Quebec, because we're looking at two very popular mid-sized sedans. Now, because SUVs and crossovers are really taking into the sedan market, it means that manufacturers have to put more tech and more of an incentive for buyers to get into them. Today we've got in black this 2018 Toyota Camry XSE V6, and in white the 2018 Kia Optima SXL Turbo. We're going to be showing you everything about these two mid-sized sedans, going in depth with them, going on drives, and going over everything you need to know if you're in the market for two fully loaded mid-sized family sedans. As always, we have an excellent episode of TestDrive Showdown for you today. We have two fully loaded mid-size family sedans with similar MSRPs and features, not to mention both are very popular sellers here in Quebec and in the rest of Canada. We suggest watching each individual episode of TestDrive Spotlight for both cars to get the full picture of what each has to offer, as our showdown is going to mostly focus on what's different about these two. Both of these cars offer a similar set of features inside and out. On the exterior, the 2018 Toyota Camry XSE V6 is all new for 2018 with a new design and image for the Japanese automaker. Both cars feature full LED headlighting, backup cameras, rear parking sensors, panoramic sunroofs, and keyless entry. The Kia offers automatic power folding mirrors and LED fog lamps, which aren't found on the Toyota, but the Camry adds front parking sensors along with a power opening rear trunk. The Toyota also has a sport-tuned suspension that goes along with the larger, more powerful 3.5-liter V6 engine and 8-speed automatic transmission, whereas Kia's 2.0-liter turbocharged inline 4 is mounted to an older 6-speed automatic. The sport-oriented Camry also comes with two choices for interior leather, this one being finished in red, which really stands out. The interior on both cars cater to different buyers, with the Toyota having a more radical, asymmetrical design over the Kia's more premium-oriented style. Both vehicles offer front heated seats and a heated driver's steering wheel. You also get dual-zone automatic climate control, a suite of safety tech like blind spot monitoring, collision avoidance, lane keep assist, and rear cross-traffic alert, as well as Qi wireless charging, which supports the iPhone 8 and Samsung Galaxy Note 8. That's where the similarities end. The Toyota features a color heads-up display, Homelink, a 9-speaker JBL synthesis audio system, and Toyota's OnTune 3.0, which we did rant about in the spotlight. Navigation isn't included at this near $40,000 price point, requiring users to download an app to broadcast the navigation onto the 8-inch screen. The Kia certainly offers more to buyers, adding two memory options for the driver, ventilated front seats, heated rear seats, a 10-speaker Harman Kardon audio system, embedded navigation, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and rear side window sunshades. The interior design of the Optima resembles that of a BMW, with the design of the navigation screen and HVAC controls. However, the dashboard and door cards are hard plastic, whereas the Toyota offers softer materials throughout, including the option for wood trim on the non-sport model. The different options available on these two cars is why we think this is such a good comparison. Both cars have different options that may or may not be important to some buyers. Homelink is an easy feature to add, yet is missing on the Optima, whereas the Kia nails a lot of the premium-oriented features at an incredibly affordable price. Some buyers might not care about the heads-up display on the Camry, nor the need for an app to use their navigation, which is why these cars are perfect for this showdown. But while leather trim and premium audio are important elements for buying a car, it really comes down to how each of these perform on the road. Can the turbocharged Kia Optima take on this new sport-oriented Camry? Will the Toyota strip away that beige, boring stigma it's carried for decades with its new emphasis on the driving experience? I think we should find out, don't you?
Yeah, something we don't always get to talk about when we're doing this, just because there's so much to talk about in any vehicle, but actually it's very quiet in here, both when we were on the highway and here just driving along residential streets. The interior is quite quiet. We've got the radio off so we can hear everything, and it's got winter tires on it, so they're a little bit louder than usual, but I do have to say that it is very quiet in this cabin, and that is something that you don't usually get to find out, even when you're doing a test drive, because your mind is on all the other things, all the other bells and whistles and gadgets on the car. But it is nice to actually be able to listen and say, wow, it is very quiet in the cabin of this vehicle. Now, what about the drive? There's a big difference between this and the Kia Optima. This has a V6 engine with 301 horsepower. That's about 60 horsepower more than you get on the Kia. You also have an 8-speed automatic transmission, which is something that you don't often see in the midsize segment. Usually, you're either looking at a CVT, especially with Toyota. You would think that they'd have a CVT in here, or still a 6-speed automatic. Now, this is the sport model, and it's not just sport in name only, because they do have a sport suspension on this. It is more sporty and actually more functional as a sport vehicle than a lot of the other vehicles that say it's a sport and really it's just a trim level. They've actually put some effort into making this more sporty than the vehicles you can buy, such as the XLE, which is the luxury version of the Camry. Now, 301 horsepower is quite nice in a vehicle like this. First of all, like I said, it's 60 more than the Kia, but it's actually more horsepower than my BMW 7 Series. And as we go here, you can see that it gets up to speed very quick. And something that I really like, it's got a heads-up display. Something that the Kia does not have at this time. And I believe the only vehicle in Kia's lineup that has one is the Stinger. So it is nice to have a heads-up display, because for the last few weeks we've been testing vehicles with them, and last vehicle that we had, as well as the Kia, didn't have it. So it's nice to have. It looks quite nice there. It shows the speed and your RPMs, so you have some information there without having to look down at the cluster there. Now, in terms of handling and performance, it's still a front-wheel drive vehicle, but I do find with that sport suspension, it really does help to make this car just feel a little bit more nimble on the road. And I'm actually enjoying driving it quite a lot, because first of all, horsepower is nice. Having the V6 engine is always a lot of fun, but then it really does handle quite beautifully, and it is refined. I mean, this is the 8th generation now of the Toyota Camry, so they certainly know what they're doing when it comes to building a very functional and very reliable vehicle. And unlike Kia, and unlike really any other manufacturer in the world, Toyota has some of the most loyal customers on earth. So they just keep coming back and buying more. So I think it's great that they've added more features to this, made it, in my opinion, a good looking car. Do you really need 300 horsepower in a Toyota Camry? Probably not, realistically. Like, let's be honest here, you probably don't need that much power, but it is nice to have it. You can just give it a little rip like that. All my phones fall out of the chargers here, only because they're not really plugged in properly. And does certainly put a smile on your face. There's something about having power when you want it, not having to wait for those turbos to spool up. Oh, just little rips here and there, only because it's super wet out. And I hate the roads here. They're so bad. Can't have a ton of fun when you're driving a car anywhere in Quebec, because the roads are just all potholes, and you're probably going to just destroy your suspension, destroy your rims, just going on a nice Sunday drive like this. Now, I'm sure you've noticed by now, I absolutely love doing episodes of Test Drive Showdown. It gives us an opportunity to really drive vehicles back to back in really the most logical sense, because if you're actually looking to buy one of these vehicles, you probably are going to go to the Toyota dealership, go to the Kia dealership, drive them side by side kind of thing, and see really what each is about. So it's great being able to do that in this case. And the first thing I noticed when I get back into the Kia Optima is just how comfortable the seats are. And that's not to say that the Toyotas were not comfortable, it's just they're different. They are much firmer. These really do kind of sink in to that quilted Napa leather. And overall, the seating position is great. I find that maybe the A-pillars are a little bit smaller, and it helps to having the dark black headliner there. Makes it a little bit easier to see around, just because it's a little thinner and a little bit less distracting. And I have to say that, man, it is a comfortable car to be in no matter what. Now, feature-wise, they're very similar in a lot of ways. Safety technology is pretty much on par between the two of them. They both have blind spot monitoring. They have radar cruise control, lane keep assist, collision prevention, rear cross traffic alert, and 360-degree camera systems. Like we mentioned, the Camry has a little bit that differs from this one. The parking sensors are only on the back of this one, so it is kind of nice to have them on the front, especially with the 360-degree camera system. And we noticed that the Toyota's was very good in the sense that it would automatically turn on the camera in the front when the parking sensors felt that you were a little too close to whatever you might be coming into. So yes, there's certainly a lot of tech going on between the two of them, and depending on what you really need out of a car, that's going to really make or break the decision for you. If you really need a heads-up display or you really need ventilated seats. But the other big thing about these two cars is the engine. This is a 2-liter turbocharged engine producing, 245 horsepower. That 301 horsepower V6 in the Camry really was surprising. It wasn't something that I would ever expect to be coming out of Toyota, especially for the Camry line of vehicles. Maybe they want to get into more sporty vehicles again with relaunching the Supra. But when it comes to the Camry, it's always been not a grandpa car, but it's been very traditional. They've kept it conservative in order to appeal to the most amount of loyal customers that Toyota has. But that 300 horsepower engine really surprised me, and it is very quick, and I do like it. Turbo engine certainly is nice when it kicks in with that turbo, but man, that V6 really does have the power when you need it. And it just sounds a little bit nicer too. Quad exhaust on the back is very nice. It just looks really good. It looks the part, and it also has the power to make you go the part too. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with the 2-liter engine in this vehicle, but it is just a little different. And if you really do want to have, maybe it's the power, maybe it's just the fact that it's a V6. If you want that, your option is super limited at this point, because really nobody else is putting V6s into a mid-size sedan anymore. Everybody's going with turbocharged engines. Everybody's just going with regular inline 4 engines. So being able to get a V6 in a non-premium, non-luxury vehicle is certainly nice. But again, that doesn't mean that this is a bad choice. It's still got power. It's still fun to drive. You have flappy paddles, so if you want to roll through those gears on your own, it works. It's fast enough for an automatic, but you're not going to be able to get a manual with this, and you're not going to get a manual with the Camry either. So you are limited to what they give you here, but it is still a fun experience overall. If you've got kids, you've got a family, you go back and forth to work, you want something that's a big enough vehicle that you can fit everybody in, comfortable enough that on your hour and a half, 8-hour commute, if you're living in my area and you got to get to Montreal, and you want to be able to have something that's going to be comfortable during that time, then this is a very excellent option. And we've put quite a bit of kilometers on this, and I have to say that it's been comfortable the whole time. I've really enjoyed being able to drive around on the highways, in the city, on side streets. It has been very enjoyable, and the technology certainly helps. The interior design, I really got to say, I like it more on this. This is a lot more straightforward. They really took, I'd say BMW's interior design to heart when they were designing this thing. It looks very similar to the 2017 X3 xDrive 28i that we featured a little while ago. And actually, we took a look. We had to look at the interior photos of that car again, and they really are similar. Obviously, they're a little different, but you can really tell that there's some similarities there. But that's the thing. You're getting to the same destination. It just takes you a little different route to get there. Both have wireless chargers. Both of them have 8-inch infotainment screens. Both have panoramic sunroofs. Both have all of these different features, but it's the little things here and there that really will make you decide which vehicle you want. And then obviously, of course, it still comes down to the design and style. If you really don't like the look of the Camry, you're never going to buy it. If you don't like the interior of the Kia here, you're never going to buy it. So as much as all of these features are important, the design and aesthetics and what you really want out of the car ultimately becomes the most important.
For $945 less than the Toyota Camry, we feel that the Kia Optima has more features to offer customers with ventilated seats, driver memory, power folding mirrors, side window sunshades, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, embedded navigation, and rear heated seats. The Camry has a color heads-up display, Homelink, front parking sensors, and that sport-tuned suspension, along with the V6 engine and 8-speed transmission, which is why the prices kind of even out. Again, each car caters to different needs for buyers. If features and comfort are important to you, the Kia Optima should be at the top of your list. If you're already a Toyota customer, you'll likely already shopping for the Camry, but this new sport image they've got with this car is going to attract some new customers, considering other manufacturers in this segment are starting to offer smaller engines. We really do like the design of the Camry, and we think with a few changes like we mentioned in our episode of Test Drive Spotlight, it could be a real option for us. But for now, our hard-earned $40,000 is buying us the 2018 Kia Optima SXL Turbo. This car is getting so many things right in its third year of production for this generation, and we expect to see it to continue to grow as a serious competitor in the midsize family sedan market. Thanks for watching this episode of Test Drive Showdown on the 2018 Toyota Camry XSE V6 and the 2018 Kia Optima SXL Turbo. As always, your support helps make this show possible, so if you enjoyed it, please click the thumbs up button below and consider sharing it on sites like Facebook, Twitter, or Reddit. If you have any questions about these cars, leave a comment below and we'll do our best to answer them, and also let us know which of these would be your choice and why. We invite you to subscribe to our growing channel, which helps us continue producing high-quality professional content on a regular basis. Until next time, take care.